That's pretty cool.
Almost took your seat.
Like me, giving up. Oh, yeah.
Not you.
You're good. You're all balanced and everything, huh?
Now, hey, y'all got to admit, this facility upgrade's been pretty nice for y'all, too. I mean, I remember over there in McFadden, y'all had your things in your laps and all that. I mean, that's pretty nice. Comfortable seats. That's good. It's good. It's good. So, hey, everybody got a little something in this deal.
Our press conference for the Clemson Georgia Tech game. Kickoff will be 3:36 this weekend. And the following week, Clemson will play at Boston College. That'll be televised by Raycom, and it will be a 12:10 start. I want to thank Herb Tyler from Chick-fil-A in Seneca and Clemson for providing our lunch today. And we're getting close to the beginning of basketball season. If you want to email me or Philip your request for media credentials for the basketball season, go ahead and do that this week. I'll turn it over to Coach.
Okay, well, Georgia Tech week, and if there's a team we ought to know a little something about, it'd be these guys. We've had our fair share of battles with them over the last couple of years, and they're 5-2, and they've won 3 in a row, so they're starting to play their best football, and we know we got our hands full, no doubt about it. The biggest thing for us is just really trying to focus on playing a complete game versus these guys. That's something we've yet to do. Obviously it's come down to the last play in our last couple of matchups. And, we played them in Atlanta last year and defensively played lights out, had 7 3-and-outs, and offensively played pretty good, came back and took the lead. But we gave up 2 special team scores and kind of haunted us there, and then in the championship game, played about as good as you could play offensively. We didn't have one punt. Problem is they didn't have a punt either. We just hadn't quite put it together with a complete game, and we're going to need a solid contribution from all 3 phases to beat these guys. That's really what it's going to take. So. That's our emphasis, and hopefully we can build upon what happened this past weekend. Although we didn't, play a great game offensively, we made some significant contributions at critical times to help put the game away. And so that's what we're trying to shoot for this week. Georgia Tech, when you look at their offense, they are what they are. They do what they do. They got 6 starters back. They just kind of plug guys in different spots. 18 was their A back last year. Now he's the B back, and Nesbitt makes them go. I mean, he's the guy, and he's a tough guy to simulate in practice. But we'll have to do a good job there with all their backs. They play a lot of guys. They've got some guys that can run. Don't throw the ball a whole lot, but our history with them is just when you think you're doing a good job, boom, they'll go up top for a big one. So they might only throw it 3, 4, 5 times, whatever, but it's potential big plays when they do. So it's just really critical that everybody do a great job with their eyes. And, in this ball game, it starts with being physical, just like every week. But, it's everybody's got a job to do, but you've got to be extremely physical in doing that job. And they still have to block you. And if they can't block you, then it creates problems. So we've got to win the physical matchup, and then the biggest thing when you play in a team that is an option football team, there's a lot of ball handling going on. There's a lot of things happening, and so we've got to try to create turnovers. Got to try to create some turnovers, And the other thing that I think is going to be critical for us is defensively is third down, because they go for it on fourth down. That was probably one of the most painful things in our championship game is it would be fourth and short. If they get in fourth and short, they're going for it. It really doesn't matter where it is on the field. That's just their mentality. And so third down is going to be critical for us, that we can keep them out of those fourth and shorts, and then do a good job in the red zone and try to hold them to field goal attempts and not let them get in there. So, when you get spread out on the option, you got to tackle well, because a lot of times it might be a solo tackle, and you got to hold on until the troops can get there. And so tackling will be you miss a tackle in this game, it's very, very noticeable, very, very noticeable. And so we've got to do a great job, tackling these guys. Their defense is probably the biggest change on their football team, obviously. They've got a bunch of guys back. They got 8 starters back, got a really veteran secondary, 3 seniors and a junior playing on the back end, some veterans at linebacker, some guys that show up. I mean, they've done a good job. Obviously, Coach Groh is now the defensive coordinator there, and, it's like getting ready to play Virginia. We played Virginia the last 2 years, and it's when you turn the film on, that's what you look at. He's done a really nice job of implementing that 3-4 scheme, and you can just see them getting better throughout the course of the season. They got one guy that I think is questionable on the D line, number 92. He's a good player. He does a good job with his hands. All those guys, when you play that 50 front there, you got to do a great job with your hands at the point of attack, and they're well coached in how they play their technique. So for us, it's just all about execution on offense, taking care of the ball. We've got to throw and catch better. We had 6 drops last week, all of them by the running backs and tight ends. None by the wideouts. So we got to, so we can get a little more rhythm and keep some drives going. And then the biggest thing for us, I think, right now offensively is first down. We've got to be a better first down team, and we're working hard to do that. And special teams just continue. One consistent area on our team all year long, it's been special teams. We put a lot of time into it. We meet on it a lot. We practice it a lot. And our guys have taken a lot of pride in special teams. So, that's an area that if we can continue to play well in, that's going to bode well for us as we continue on the second half of the season here. So, big matchup. Look forward to getting back out there, 3:30 on Saturday, and hopefully we'll have another beautiful day. We've been blessed with some great weather this year.
When you say get better on first down, do you look at it from a standpoint of philosophy or just execution?
Well, a little bit of both. It's execution and just maybe doing a few things a little bit differently. But we've had some very correctable things on first down, but that affects everything. It really does. It affects all your quality control, that we keep up with. So we've just got to be better there.
Are defenses respecting your pass at all?
Yeah, I think so. I think that obviously Maryland was highly overcommitted to stopping the run. They were overcommitted to that and did a very good job. And a lot of that in the second half. Again, I said the other day, we come right out the opening drive of the third quarter because we talked about doing a few, opening up a little bit in the passing game, and then we had 6 drops. That's the frustrating thing, including 2 touchdowns. Or you got a chance to put that thing away, but we come out in the third quarter, we get a stop, we get a punt return, and then we score. And so now it's 24-7. You got a three-score game, and defense is playing lights out, special teams is playing good, and if we would make a mistake, and we played pretty conservative in the second half, but we've got to open it up a little bit more. If teams are going to overcommit like that, we've got to, because we're good enough, we can do it. But we got to make sure that the guys we're throwing it to are a little more consistent catching the ball. we do that, we'll be fine.
Do you expect to have Hopkins back full speed?
I think so. I've got to. Last night we were in vests, and he looked fine out there. But I see him in pads today and get a little better evaluation of him. But I expect him to be back. The only one I'm worried about injury wise is Brandon May. He's got a little calf deal that is causing him some problems. So I'm not sure right now about him. He's the only one that's questionable.
How much of a concern would May's injury be, considering that obviously Teague Willard is banged up as well with the bionic arm that he has?
Well, Tig actually is best he's been all year. He's really gotten now to where it doesn't even bother him. He doesn't. He was a little tender there for a week or so, but he's good. He played very well Saturday, as a matter of fact, when he was in the game. Did a very good job.
The difference in them going to a 3-4 from the 4-3, I mean, is it when you're getting ready for a game, facing an odd instead of an even? I mean, does that maybe change some of the things you're thinking, some of the ideas you may have about attacking?
Oh yeah, it's different. Different philosophy. A little different than going against Virginia, in that Virginia had kind of recruited to that for years. Body types and all that. And so these guys are kind of. He's coming there and he's taking what he has and he's implementing his scheme. You got to be more patient in how you attack them. They typically don't give up a ton of big plays. It's a lot of shell type coverage, although they've shown some aggression at times. For example, they played Virginia totally different than they had played any of the other teams. So they've got the capability within their scheme to mix it up. But for the most part, you have to. Those guys, they're at the line of scrimmage, hold the point, type of defense, cover two corners down, kind of funneling everything. So you got to be efficient with how you game plan, and hopefully we're going to be able to run the football. I mean, that's we've got to be able to run the football to be the type of team we want to be and have the rhythm we want to have, and that may have to come from throwing it. It may come from that, just depending on how people play us. But we play a odd front here. We'll get into that quite a bit here. So we practice against it in the spring. We practice against it in camp, and it's not like it used to be where you rarely saw that. We see quite a bit. Most teams now, even your typical 4-3 teams, they've got the odd package within their system.
Given the closeness of the series and the significance of the games, since you've been coached, did you sense any kind of, additional intensity out there from your guys about this week and who they play?
Well, yeah. Everybody. Georgia Tech to me is the champion. Period. They're the champion until somebody says something about it. They've earned it. They won it, and they've got the title. And until it's something said differently this year. So these guys have beaten us in 2 heartbreakers, and one for the championship. So obviously our guys are pretty familiar with them. It's not often you play a team twice in 1 year, and so there's a lot of guys on this football team that have played against them. So everybody knows what it is. But for us, it's a one game season. That's our mentality, and really nothing else matters, regardless of who the opponent is. We've got to have a great sense of urgency, great preparation each week, and a high level of execution.
Do you let yourself at all think about the game here 2 years ago, your first game, and what was going on back then, and how far you guys have come?
No, I thought about it a little bit last week because it was that October 13th, and we was talking to somebody about it, and just kind of reflected on how far we've come in 2 years. We've come a long way from, I can tell you, those 3 days of really getting ready for those guys